It's Monday, September 29th, 2025, and this is episode 344 of You Can Bet on That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet on That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. I'm Mark Duvall.
And I'm Dr. Mike.
Dr. Mike, everything going well there? I understand that it's like hot in the Midwest here. It's fall.
Yes, I know. It's fall, and we had like low 80s days. Yeah. Last night was homecoming, and it was unbelievable. I mean, it was like we were playing in a summer game, you know?
Yeah.
There was literally not a cloud in the sky. It was warm. It was just, a beautiful night. And usually this time of year, I'm, up in the control booth freezing to death for these games. And it's been great. And there weren't even bugs. I don't know what's going on.
Wow.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. Well, talking about the weather, that always makes for a good podcast, especially if people are listening years from now. So why don't we actually get started with the show?
Okay, sounds good.
Mike, let's do another blind ranking. We got a suggestion from Jim from New York for a blind ranking here. So again, what we're going to do, Mike, is present you with 5 items, and you have to rank them as they are revealed to you without knowing what item is coming next. Blind ranking. And Jim has decided on rank these defunct or mostly defunct Las Vegas table games 1 to 5 without knowing what's coming next.
Now, am I ranking these as like I'm glad they're gone, or no, I wished it was back?
Yeah, maybe I wish it was back, or how good the game is. How about that?
How
good the game is as a game that maybe is not being played anymore. Right. I have randomized the order here using a third-party app, so I have no influence on how these are going to be revealed to you. So 1 through 5, here we go. Here's the first one, Caribbean Stud.
Caribbean Stud. I'm going to give that a 3.
Okay. You're kind of playing it safe, it sounds like.
Yeah, with a 3, because I'm thinking there's going to be something worse than that. But, I was considering giving it a 4 or 5, but I'll go with 3.
Okay. All right. That's 3. Your next game, Red Dog. And for poker players, it's like AC-Deucey.
Right.
Red Dog.
Yeah. In a casino. I'm going to give that 5.
Yeah. You can't I mean, it's one of those things that just didn't stick around. Although, it was fairly early in carnival games that we first saw it. Gosh, I'm trying to remember. It was quite a while ago. Okay, so you're giving it the lowest rating, 5.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Here's a curveball coming for you. 9's Up.
Oh, I like 9's Up.
9's Up. Now, this was a game that we only ever saw at Harrah's, Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And it was sort of a combination of Pai Gow and Baccarat.
Baccarat,
right?
Yeah.
The real difference was, though, that pairs were higher than a 9. So, the best hand was a pair of aces all the way down to a pair of deuces, and then a 9.
And then a 9.
And 9s were different ranks. It wasn't like Baccarat where a 9 is a 9. Like an ace 8 was the highest 9.
Right.
And then king 9, and then queen 9, right? You would look at the rank of the cards. Right, right.
I'm going to, Mark, I want to give that a 1.
Wow.
But I'm going to give it 2.
Okay.
Because I think there might be something better.
You don't know what's coming. Now, keep in mind, these are from Jim from New York, too. So just the fact that he threw 9's Up in there. I'm trying to remember when we talked about 9's Up on the show. We must have, just in passing.
Yeah. That's another thing about Jim. He's got the memory. The guy remembers everything.
Yeah, he remembers way more about our show than we do.
Way more.
And every week I get a correction from him. Oh, you messed up on the last episode.
I think
he's always right.
I mean, I think when they, invented that saying, mind like a steel trap.
Yeah.
It was Jim.
It was Jim.
About.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's see what we've got so far. We've talked Caribbean Stud, number 3, Red Dog, number 5, 9's Up, number 2. Here's your next one.
Okay.
The Big 6 Wheel.
Oh,
not seeing that in casinos.
Yeah.
Certainly not like we did when you and I first started going.
Not when we were younger. Yeah.
So your choices are 1 or 4.
I know. I'm putting it at 4.
Okay.
I'm going to be stuck with one here.
All right. So your top-rated game that's either
Yes.
defunct or just isn't played very much in Las Vegas casinos anymore. Your number one game is...
Chuck-a-luck.
You are so close. Sick Bow.
Sick Bow. Okay.
Yeah.
I would have put that number one anyway.
Really?
Yeah, Chuck-a-luck or Sick Bow.
Okay.
I enjoyed those games.
All right. Sick Bow, a 3-dice game. Yeah, it's harder to find.
It's hard to find, yeah. I like Sick Bow and Chuck-a-luck because of the cage.
All right, yes.
How many times do you get to sit at a table and play a game where there's a cage?
Yep, they spin it over, yeah. Oh, God, so hard to find anymore. It does seem like when you and I first started going to casinos, you saw several of those. I don't know if
every casino would have like at least a couple of
it's much easier to understand than craps.
Oh,
right,
yeah,
you just make it. Okay. So number one, Sick Bow. Number two, Nines Up. Fantastic. Number three, Caribbean Stud. Number four, Big Six Wheel. And number five, Red Dog. You actually did pretty well again, I think, Dr. Mike.
Yeah, I kind of like that order. I think that's a fair order. I mean, Red Dog and Big Six Wheel, you could interchange those as far as I'm concerned.
I agree that those should be at the bottom. Oh, well, I don't know. Big Six Wheel is sort of iconic.
Yeah, so, that's what it has going for it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember when they had the big wheel. You know, as soon as you walked in the door of the casino, that's the first thing you saw. Now, you don't see it. So I don't know. What is the first thing you see when you walk in a casino now?
That's a good point, Mike. That really was kind of the first, because I'm thinking of a couple places. Golden Nugget downtown, Binion's downtown. Yeah, as soon as you walked into the casino, that was the first thing.
It was like right in the doorway.
Yeah, I can't think of a game like that anymore, right? Because there's so many more slots than
I mean, mostly you just open... When you walk in a door of a casino or something, it's just slots. It's just slot machines, right?
All right. Anyway, I guess I would say maybe I'd put the Big Six Wheel up higher just because of its iconic stature. But I'm fine having it down at the bottom along with Red Dog. All right. Well, thanks, Jim, for that list. Another good session.
Good list.
Dr. Mike, a few episodes ago, we got a call from our good friend Todd Goddess about kind of a strange situation that happened to him at Palms in Las Vegas, where at the end of a roll, when he and his friend Kelly were coloring up, the shooter came around to Todd and said something to the effect of, look, I know you're just trying to have fun, but when you were shouting for the hard 10, it was very distracting. And Todd was kind of taken aback. Well, Jeremy over at the Color Up YouTube channel heard that call and realized that the group of people that Todd was talking about were actually players that he is familiar with, kind of part of the Color Up group of players. And so he decided to talk about this situation on a recent episode of Color Up with his partner Jim. They called it Craps Court, and they basically made it like a case of, okay, who's right in this case? Was it Todd kind of taken aback by being asked not to cheer for a number? Or was it for the shooter and, his concentration and that kind of thing? So they actually put out an episode, and I'll link to it in the show notes. Mike, you listened to it as well, correct?
Yes, I did.
And it's interesting because they had a representative that was part of the group, not the shooter, but a representative from the other side of the table who gave his side of the story.
Yeah, they called him the defense attorney.
Yeah, the defense attorney. And there were some kind of inconsistencies on the stories. Now, it was very clear if you listen to Todd's call that Todd and Kelly were rooting for the point of 10, and specifically a hard 10. When you hear the defendant's side of the story, he claims that they were rooting for a number other than the point. And in fact, he said hard 6, and Todd clearly said hard 10. So there's some inconsistencies there in the story.
Right. As there always is.
Sure, of course. But I thought Jim and Jeremy did a real good job at kind of digging down into what they thought happened exactly. And of course, they weren't there, so they don't know for sure. And they kind of came up with some verdicts. So what do you think of it, Mike?
Okay, well, first off, I love that they mentioned Doug Llewellyn.
From People's Court.
From People's Court.
That's right. He was the guy in the hallway that would interview the people, right? On Wapners. Yeah. Okay, good. Of course, most of our listeners have no idea who we're talking about, but good.
And I'm like, oh my God, I haven't thought about Doug Llewellyn in a long time.
Okay,
but good. He was a big part of that show.
Absolutely. It was huge.
Anyway, I love that. Yeah, there were some interesting points, and there could be points made on both sides.
Sure.
When I listen to it, that inconsistency about the stories, I'm thinking everyone's point of view is different, and you kind of shape your thoughts around your point of view. Yeah. So without actually being there, it's hard to say for sure exactly how egregious it was or not egregious at all. Yeah. I will say that they were using a golfer as an example.
Right, a golfer or a bowler, right, where you're quiet.
Where you're supposed to be quiet while they're doing their thing. And I've always thought of this, golfers, and I like watching golf, and it's a good sport and everything, but come on, be quiet.
Yeah,
I mean, what other professional sport? When you guys shooting a basket to win a basketball game, behind the crowd's waving their hands and doing everything and screaming, trying to distract him, you have to concentrate. You just concentrate. You put it in.
Yeah.
Golfers, if you're not concentrating enough that somebody, saying something bothers you,
Well, in our culture, when you're talking about individual sports, individual players, bowling, golf, tennis, right? You're supposed to be quiet. If it's a team sport, anything goes. Right? A batter at bat, somebody's shooting, that kind of thing. The analogy wasn't perfect, though, because in this case, Todd was cheering for the shooter, with the shooter.
Well, and craps is like a team sport.
Right, and not trying to distract him. Like maybe, you're trying to do when a guy's at the free throw line.
Or yelling Noonan when the guy's trying to
putt. Or yelling Noonan, right?
Yeah.
So the analogy is not perfect. Now, we won't go into all the details. Listen to the episode because there was some more claims about when the cheering was happening and the volume and what have you. And Jim mentioned this too. This is a game where you do cheer. Jim even says, I'm loud. I cheer, right? Come on, shooter. Let's go. Let's see. Right. I do that all the time.
And I kind of judge it on, is it offensive? Now, if somebody was yelling something that most people would think was offensive, then you're getting a little out of hand. And you'll see that with like drunk people and stuff. Yeah. But when people are just cheering, and they're kind of cheering for you.
For you. This isn't somebody on the don't cheering for a 7, right?
Right.
This is somebody who, and again, according to Todd, it was the point that they were cheering for. Everybody wins, right? So, yeah.
That's why my comment on the podcast, which they mentioned this too, when I said, what's the rest of your life like if you're that serious about rolling the dice?
And they mentioned that on Color Up also. Todd thought maybe the whole group were dice influencers, and that turned out not to be the case. Right. But if you think you're a dice influencer, you've got to concentrate. This is a casino. There are all sorts of distractions going on.
Right.
If you think you can influence the dice, you need to do that under maybe stressful situations.
Exactly. So, I mean, I have never, ever, well, except for Desert Inn, been in a casino where it was really quiet.
Yeah.
And especially nowadays, because the slot machines are all video and they have a lot of sound, and people like my brother, they love to turn the sound up as high as they can.
Right.
So you can't expect a casino to be quiet. And when you're playing a game that involves other people, you can't expect everyone to adhere to your rules.
Yeah.
And the other guy is probably super nice.
That's what they said is this guy was,
and that's even what Todd said.
Todd said he was very cordial, when he came over now. Yeah. So these aren't bad people. Yeah.
No, not at all. I just think it's a thing where maybe you say something, but you're probably better off just to let it go.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the other thing is, okay, there might be certain things you don't like, but then actually approaching someone and telling them.
Right.
There have been times when maybe I've told a new player who doesn't know, it's like, oh, don't buy in the middle of somebody's role. I'll give them unsolicited advice. But I can think of a lot of things that would annoy me at a table where I wouldn't go over and actually tell the person.
Well, Mark, there's a lot of things in life that annoy me.
Yeah.
I mean, if I told everyone all day long things that they're doing that annoy me, I'd probably get my butt kicked every day, right?
Yeah.
It's just the world, right? I tell my daughters this all the time. Now they're still in San Diego area, and they get mad when somebody cuts in front of them on the freeway or somebody's doing some weird driving. And I say, look, that's going to happen a lot. Just let it roll off your shoulders.
Yeah, and it's going to happen your whole life. It's not like it's only happening, right? It's going to continue to happen. So deal with it.
It's going to continue to happen forever, right? For me, it's people who, well, number one, don't push in their chairs, like at a restaurant or something. That drives me crazy.
Okay.
But I would never go up to somebody and say, hey, push in.
You know what? Yeah, you should really
because it's not that big a deal, and I don't want to get beat up if it's some big guy or something. But
and you're not going to solve the chair problem with one comment to one person.
Right. So I just let that fade away. But that is one of my things. I think it's kind of rude because, there's elderly people in restaurants and stuff.
Sure, it's hard for
waiters, having been a waiter when we were younger.
Yeah.
You don't like those chairs in the way. You want to be able to get through. So anyway, my advice is just let things roll and
certain things, as long as it's not like super offensive or anything. Yeah, it's like, all right.
Right. Then just go somewhere else. Like you have the perfect solution. I mean, somebody starts arguing on a table, you just color up.
Oh, I walk away. Yeah. I just don't even need to. All right. Let's move on. Again, I'll post a link in the show notes to the episode. Otherwise, just go to the Color Up YouTube channel and look at their videos. It's called Craps Court, and Jim and Jeremy do a good job talking about it. Hey, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, please go to our page first. YouCanBetOnThat.com and click through our Amazon link towards the top of the page. Let's move on to voicemails. First up is Jason.
Hey, Dr. Mike and Mark, it's Jason from Michigan. Just calling in, had a couple things to address or ask. Number one, the Amazon link. I always buy on Amazon like everybody else and forget to click your link. I wondered if there a way to tie that to my Amazon account where it will always credit you for every purchase. I always feel guilty after I buy something and forget to click on your link. So let me know on that. I'm sure the audience would appreciate it. Secondly, a lot of conversation about carnival games, table games in Vegas, especially downtown. I'd called in a year and a half ago and had said that I had noticed at almost every casino downtown, they were starting to eliminate more of your carnival games like Texas Hold'em, 3-card poker, high card flush. At that point, you guys kind of had a couple callers. You both had thought I was crazy and that was not happening. I knew with my own two eyes what I saw, but for some reason, everyone thought I was wrong. Now hearing you guys talk, I think my instincts were correct. With that said, all the publicity I'm hearing and seeing and reading about, I feel like Vegas will be pushed back in the direction of lowering minimums, more free drinks, no resort fees. But for now, as we keep going out there, and if we do keep going out there, they probably will continue to raise everything up. But if traffic count is down, one thing I know about Vegas is they will figure out how to get it right. So not sure good or bad, but I look forward to the day when you can go out there again and not have to be nickel and dime to death, and you can entertain yourself, whether you want to play high limits or low limits. Love your podcast. Look forward to it every time it comes out. Thanks for all you do. Have a great day.
All right. Thanks, Jason. And yeah, we've mentioned that at least some casinos are starting to make some moves to make Vegas a little more affordable as opposed to nickel and diming people. But, we will see as this goes on. Jason makes a really good point. When he originally contacted us, he said, it seems like carnival games are disappearing more downtown. And yeah, the response from other listeners was kind of like, no, not really. But there is this trend of closing down table games and moving to electronic versions of the games, like happened at Golden Gate, right? That definitely is a trend. Right. And if that continues, these carnival games are less likely to stay in the casinos because they're less likely to be an electronic version of those games.
Correct.
Right? You get a stadium gaming. Are you going to see Ultimate Texas Hold'em on Stadium Gaming? Maybe there are some places that have it, but it's way less likely than just blackjack, craps, roulette, that kind of thing.
Correct.
So, is that kind of a side effect of table games going away?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that as far as the casinos getting people back to Vegas, I think that nickel and diming in any business is a bad thing to do.
It's almost human nature and part of capitalism where if they can get away with it, they do.
Right.
And then when people get tired of it, they have to cut back.
Yeah, I understand that. It's part of business. But in my opinion, it's like, why not just increase your base fee without saying, oh, we're adding this on for this and we're adding that
like
on
resort
for
fees, that kind of thing. Sure, of
that
course.
kind of thing. Because that just drives people away. It's like flying, on one of the
like
Spirit Airlines, or something. And it's, oh, wow, this is a cheaper flight. I'll take this. And then you find out that you're getting nickel and dime for all this other stuff. Yeah. And it ends up being about what you would have paid on the other airline.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. It's better just to set a price that covers all of your expenses and maybe some luxury things like, a cabana or something at a hotel. Yeah, you got to pay extra for that. People expect that.
Mm-hmm.
But, they don't expect, well, if you want a room with a window that opens, we're going to have to charge you extra. Or, if you want clean sheets or daily service.
Yeah.
So I just don't understand where companies think that's a good thing. I know greed drives them, but still.
Again, it seems to be trending the other way. So let's find out what happens within the next 12 months. Yeah.
Right. Hopefully it'll continue on that.
Jason, we don't know of any way to tie your Amazon account to our Amazon link. But what you could do is click on our link and then save that page as a bookmark in your browser. Then whenever you're going to buy anything, just use that bookmark instead of just typing in Amazon.com. That's the only thing we can really think of. And thank you very much for everybody who keeps clicking through.
Yeah, I think that's what my wife and daughters do.
Yeah.
They just have it bookmarked, and when they want to buy something, they hit that.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask about that because they say they use our site all the time. I don't buy stuff on Amazon.
You're not very tech savvy, so I don't think you would even know how to.
Oh, it's not that, Mark. It's the fact that I have a wife and daughters, and I just say, oh, can you buy this? Mm-hmm. They use my card, but I never actually have to do it.
Got you, Dr. Mike. I think I understand the dynamics now in your household.
Yeah, it's a whole reason for having a family, Mark.
Sure.
You have them so they can mow the lawn and do the dishes and help. And, and then when you get old, you still have them because you can claim, well, I'm old. Could you just...
You're old. And you kind of live on a farm now, at least compared to the house you lived in here.
Oh, yeah.
You need some farm hands.
Yeah, I need farm hands.
All right, next call.
Mark, Dr. Mike, how's it going, guys? I used to listen to you guys probably the first 150 episodes religiously. I was a commercial fisherman, so I'd download them all and listen to them while I was out and about. And when I stopped fishing, I just stopped listening to podcasts. But I was up in South Lake Tahoe this past weekend for my bachelor party, and we were at the casinos, and I was thinking about what was that podcast I used to listen to. So I'm back in it, and I will be listening to you guys regularly again. But just a short trip report here. South Lake Tahoe looks completely different if you guys haven't been there recently. Harvey's is gone. The Hard Rock is now the Golden Nugget, and there's the Bally's up there on that fourth property that can't seem to stay as one thing for more than a year or two. But we played some craps. Unfortunately, they were only doing $25 real tables, so we had to be on one of those kind of silly electronic tables. But at least you get to actually throw the dice. It's not as bad as a bubble game. But went on a bit of a heater. We rolled 32 times, hit my point 8 times. Both my buddies paid off their trip entirely, flying out from Nashville. Actually, my buddy who rolled after me rolled 22 times. I think he hit his point 4 times, maybe. So we were throwing for a while. But yeah, look forward to getting back into the show. Thanks, guys.
All right, great. Glad you came back. And congratulations on your bachelor party and upcoming wedding.
Yeah, I wonder he is now not a commercial fisherman?
It sounded like
Yes.
no. Yeah,
Yeah.
but then
Gosh,
so.
that'd be a job I'd want.
Oh my gosh. It'd be tough though,
Commercial
don't you
fisherman.
think?
Oh, it's a tough job.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It's a really tough job.
Yeah.
But there's nobody who's going to annoy you by not pushing their chair in on your boat.
Yeah, that's true. The fish can't annoy you. They're just fish.
No. You say, oh, they're finicky today, or, they're not biting today, or something like that. But other than that, they don't really annoy you.
Yeah, you're not sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, the fish have no concept of etiquette.
Seems like it'd be a great job.
Just want to make one thing clear. Harvey's Lake Tahoe is not gone. They just rebranded it. It's now called Caesar's Republic. So it's still there right across the street from Harris.
Yeah, and it's still connected.
Yeah, I assume you still got that tunnel going under the road. So
I love stuff like that where there's like a tunnel under a road that connects something.
It's wonderful.
Or just anything like that that's kind of just a tad out of normal.
Yeah. Ooh. Ooh, there are cars going right over our heads.
It's just a little surreal. Yeah. Like when you have a dream that you just can't lose, or that you never have to leave a casino. You can always just go from one to the other through a tunnel.
This huge network. Wouldn't that be great if you could get to all the Las Vegas Strip casinos underground?
Underground.
Oh my gosh. That's the next step. All right. Next up is Matt.
Hi, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Matt from Pennsylvania. Quick question about protocol. I am at my local casino, and I just sat down at the Ultimate Texas Hold'em table and was ready to buy in, and there was a person at both ends, and they said, hey, can we play one more hand? We've been losing a lot. And I was like, sure, fine, whatever, I'll acquiesce to this. And then the guy in first base, he made a 4X bet, and then the lady at the end, she ended up calling at the end, but the dealer ended up turning up a straight. However, he only saw himself as having 2 pair, and I said, wow, if you would have let me in the hand, you would have taken his straight. And he had already marked it as 2 pair, and the lady was like, why would you say that? And I was just trying to do the honest thing. I always look to protect the dealer. They don't get paid very much, especially in our area. And she started arguing with me, and I just got up and left. I wasn't ready to fight with her. I later saw the dealer as he was going on break, and I apologized for putting him in a bad situation. He said, no, that's not a problem, but thank you for saying that because it didn't want to get him in trouble. And I know that this place is a casino that's prone to come back to take back money from people after mispaid bets. So would you have said anything? I was just sort of joking, maybe not realizing that the dealer hadn't marked his straight and only marked it as 2 pair, but I thought I did the right thing, and if they want to get upset, that's on them. Just wondering what you guys would think. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the show. Have a great day.
All right. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks.
Neither one of us would have said anything. However, that doesn't mean what you did, Matt, was wrong. Right and wrong are kind of binary terms, but right. You saw the straight, and if you didn't see that he had set it as 2 pair or now says 2 pair, you're just reacting to what you saw, right? It's almost kind of a knee-jerk reaction. If it was more like, oh, you're correcting him, well, yeah, again, we wouldn't have said anything, but like you said, by pointing it out, that kind of helps the dealer, right, to not get in trouble. And Mike, what do you think? Does it make a difference when Matt says that this is a casino where he has seen when later on they'll say, oh, there was a mistake, the eye in the sky caught it. Yeah. You weren't supposed to win that hand or something like that, and you need to give us some money.
Yeah.
Does that make a difference as to whether this was right or wrong?
I think it does make a difference if that is the case with that casino.
Yeah.
Most people wouldn't know that unless you're a regular there or something, but there are casinos who do that. I've seen that happen.
Sure. Do you agree with me, Mike, though, that he didn't do anything wrong, even though we say we wouldn't do it because we're not involved in the hand. We're waiting to buy in still, right? Yeah. So we have no effect on this. I would keep my mouth shut, but that doesn't mean that I'm doing the right thing by not saying anything necessarily. So,
I agree with you.
You're going to have some people who get mad, though, because, gee, if you hadn't said anything, I would have won this hand. Well, yeah, but it would have been a mistake. And I know that, am I being hypocritical here? Yeah, maybe a little bit, because we take advantage of dealer mistakes. We've admitted that, right? That sometimes we won't mention it. So, but right or wrong, no.
Oh, it's such a fine line there.
Yeah.
That's why sometimes, it's better not to ever say anything because, then you're not going to offend anybody. It's like, well, I wasn't watching.
Yeah. Or, maybe you don't have the whole story.
I know me personally, there have been times when someone asks me, and even though I was watching or paying attention, I'll say something like, oh, I really wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
Because I just don't want to make my viewpoint known so that creating more
I do that at poker night, even with the guys I know. Yep. If I'm out of a hand and something controversial happened, a card was flipped out, or who knows what happened, a bet was wrong, I'll step away from the table, even though maybe I saw what happened, because it's like, they're going to ask me, and I just kind of don't want to get involved.
Well, I always just say, oh, I really wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, that's what, I don't know. I wasn't watching.
Yeah. It's like avoiding the unnecessary.
It's a coward's way out, but
it's
I'll
avoiding the unnecessary stress. I agree. I agree. Well, that makes me think, Mark, going back to what we started talking about with Todd's situation and the person coming up to him. Remember years and years ago, I was tipping the dealers at Harrah's because I kind of knew them more on a personal level too. So I was always tipping them nice, partly because I do that anyway, but partly because, they were almost like friends in a way. And the roll wasn't going so well, but I was still tipping. And a guy behind me said to me, now this isn't a guy playing, this is a guy standing behind me, said, stop tipping the dealers. That's why you're losing, because they're bad luck, and tipping them is going to give us all bad luck.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget that. I mean, I've remembered that my whole life.
Yeah, that's something that's out of line. That's out of line. Yeah.
That's way out of line. First of all, don't tell me what to do with my money.
Right.
If I want to tip them, that's up to me. And second of all, why would the dealers getting a tip be unlucky for the dice?
Yeah.
I mean, it makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
So that's kind of overboard. Now, if you're talking to somebody nicely and you said something like, well, some people just like it more quiet when you're playing or something, then I guess you can have that conversation. But kind of the same deal. It's like, just keep stuff to yourself.
Yeah. Okay, next call.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. It's Jason again from North Carolina, coming again with another, not a trip report, but just some home gaming poker report. So the past few weeks of my weekly home poker tournament, I had some nice saves. Finally, I've been having a little cold streak trying to get some good hands, but I got this really nice one. I had an ace and jack of hearts when I was down about half my stack. I went all in. Another player, he had 10 king offsuit, and what do you know it? A jack comes on the board. The rest of the cards are, I think it was 10, a queen, a few other cards, I think it was maybe a 6 or something like that. And the last card was an ace as well. So I had the 2 pair. So it was kind of weird because there was second, for some reason we thought that he won because we were thinking he was going to have a straight or something, but I actually won. It was kind of fun. I don't know why we thought that he won. So it was funny to kind of swinging the notion, oh, I lost, oh, I won. So yeah, that was a good aim. And also want you guys another report from our, you can bet on that poker tournament. I actually had a good run myself. I was the Carolina Gambler, and I was so glad to play you fine gentlemen a few times, and I had some good hands here and there. I was trying to let Mike out when I had some hands, but he just wasn't calling it. But yeah, congratulations to Chalky Street, who eventually won. I went out with a pair of kings. Me and I think it was Muckshoe Aces both went out. We both had like face card pairs, and then of course a pair of aces took us both out. But yeah, it was fun though. I really did enjoy it. You guys do just a great job with it. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed your Black Hawk trip, Mark, and I hope to see you guys soon at maybe another event in the future. But come to Harris, Cherokee. That's the close one to me. Or maybe even Stevens, Virginia. It's even closer. Let's go Padres. The Padres win. Remember, you guys will get a $30 donation to your channel. All right. You guys have a great fall. This is Jason, the Carolina Gambler, signing out.
All right. Thanks, Jason. Yeah, the day after this episode drops, it's the beginning of the postseason.
Yes. It's exciting for me, Mark. I mean, I know inevitably what's going to happen. but it's still exciting.
Oh, yeah. Looking forward to it. All right. Let's hear from Kyle.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Kyle calling from Salt Lake City. It's been a while, but hope you guys are doing great. I wanted to tell you about my recent trip over to Foxwoods in Connecticut. Got on a craps table there. There's still $10 minimums on the weekends, actually. I went on a Saturday from around 4 to 7 p.m., and most tables were just about to increase from 10 to 15 at that time. But anyway, the session was more or less a wash, essentially broke even. But a cool thing that happened was when it was my turn to shoot, at some point I ended up rolling 3 snake eyes in a row, not on the come out roll, thankfully, but after the third time, the whole table was just in complete shock, and so were the dealers. Some people had action on the field, which paid double for them, which was nice. But the dealer across from me says, "Oh, that would pay 27,000 to 1 if that was a real bet." And I go, "Wow, that's pretty insane." So keeping that in mind, once I got home, I kind of crunched the numbers real quick. And Mark, you can verify this if you want, but the true odds of rolling 3 snake eyes in a row is more like 1 in 46,000. So I don't know if the dealer had his facts in order or if that was really what a casino would pay out, 27,000 instead of 46,000, in which case that's like a 40% house edge, which sort of brings me to my question for you guys. So even though that 3 in a row bet isn't one that exists anywhere as far as I can tell, if you could create any similar long shot bet to get added to the table, what would it be and what are the odds you would set it at? Maybe another example to kickstart some ideas would be something like rolling numbers in specific orders, like rolling all the small numbers or all the tall numbers, but in the exact order of like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Huge sucker bets with huge payouts, so let me know what you think. Thanks for all you guys do, and take care. Until next time. See ya.
All right. Thanks, Kyle. Yeah, Kyle, you and the dealer were both correct. So the true odds of rolling 3 2s in a row is 1 in 46,656. If you were at a table where the 2 paid 30 for 1, and you the first time you hit, you parlayed it. The second time hit, you parlayed it again. And then when it hit the third time, you just took it down. Yeah, you'd get paid $27,000 for that $1 bet, assuming the casino let you parlay that much.
That's the catch, assuming the casino would let you bet that much.
Yeah. So what do you think of his question, though, Mike? Any ideas on kind of a long shot bet that we would include on our table?
How about this, Mark? We're on a craps table.
Yes.
At the start of a new shooter's roll, if they roll 8 consecutive numbers without 7ing out,
okay,
they get paid. Okay, so under 8, they lose the bet. From 8 to, let's say, a number like 15 or something, they win the bet, even money. 15 rolls to, say, 21, because we're getting a little higher, and 21's a good casino number. It pays double. And then 21 to, 40 or something, it pays triple. And above that, it gets a flat, like whatever, $500 or something.
That's really good. Now, we'd have to walk through the numbers. I don't know that the numbers that you necessarily came up with would be profitable for the casino, but I like the idea of ranges. Yeah. So, okay, you just put it out there, and if the shooter...
The casino could make like a $25 maximum bet.
Yeah.
And then there just got to be a little clicker there, like a little display thing, and he just hits it when a number comes up, and 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And, I don't know the cutoffs.
Yeah, we'd have to
sit down and do the math. But I thought that'd be a cool thing.
That is a really good... I'm impressed, Dr. Mike. No offense, but I thought you'd come up with something where I'd be rolling my eyes and like, but that's a really good idea. Now, it's not really a long shot bet. I mean, yes, you get paid more the more numbers come up, and the chances of a guy rolling 50 rolls is unlikely. So it's not really the long shot payout that maybe Kyle was talking about, but I do like it.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Future Mark here. So I'm sitting here editing the show, and I'm thinking, wait a second, this bet sounds familiar. And sure enough, the bet does exist. some roll to win machines actually have this bet as the hot shooter side bet. And it's pretty much like the bet that Dr. Mike described. The pay table for this bet, from 2 to 7 rolls, it's a loss. From 8 to 15 rolls, you get your money back. From 16 to 23 rolls, it's 3 for 1. And all the way up to 51 plus rolls, it pays 100 for 1. So anyway, I still give credit to Dr. Mike for coming up with something that I think is pretty clever, even if maybe he had already heard it somewhere previously. But there you go. I'm sure some of you were yelling at your speakers, and I just wanted to kind of catch this before we got a bunch of calls or a bunch of emails saying, wait a second, this is nothing new. All right, back to the show.
The only thing I was thinking of was maybe like, okay, there's a bet that the next 4 rolls will be horn numbers.
Yeah.
Or the next 3 rolls will be pairs. Yeah. You know, any pair, doesn't have to be a hard way, just any pair, things like that. That's the only thing I was coming up with.
The only problem with that, see, is, and for the casino or the dealers in particular to keep track of.
Yeah, they'd have to have little sections there like, okay, we're at the next step.
Yeah,
no,
they'd have
I
to
understand
put a marker
that.
out like, oh, yeah, here was a horn roll. Oh, yeah, here was a horn roll.
Yeah.
But counting them, it'd just be a little.
Oh, sure. There are casinos that do that already, right? At Fremont Casino, right? They do keep track of the rolls anyway. So, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good job, Dr. Mike.
Thank you.
All right.
Every once in a while, Mark, I say
every once in a while,
makes sense.
Okay, last call.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike, it's Vaughn. A question that's been on my mind for a while was, what would the payouts be if Crapless had a fire bet for hitting 10 numbers? So I asked ChatGPT, and with a little finagling and clarifying, it used a Markov chain calculation in high precision, taking into account rare come-out numbers, needing to make a point to get another come-out, and repeated points producing self-loops. The probability for hitting 10 numbers is 1 in 344,842,585. So you have a better chance of hitting the Powerball at only 1 in 292 million. But assuming a 20% house edge on a $5 Dr. Mike bet, it would net him $1.38 billion. So now we can imagine what Dr. Mike would do with all of his money and how much he would tip the dealers. Thanks, guys.
All right, now there's a long shot bet for you.
That is a long shot.
It's very possible that that's never, ever happened and will never happen at a crapless table, because think of how hard it is just to make those outside points. Oh, the points too. You know, the chances of just making that point are so slim, and try to make all 10 numbers. Yeah, it's just never going to happen.
No, 10 points. Well, if I won 1.3, what was it? 1.3
billion
dollars.
Yeah.
I'd take the 0.3 and give that to the dealers.
Oh, it's good for you.
So that'd be what?
$300 million.
$300 million. Yeah, they'd each, if there were 3 dealers on the table.
Yeah.
$10 million or $30 million a piece.
$100 million. 300 divided by 3 is 100.
It's 100. Yeah, 100 million.
I thought you said you were really enjoying teaching math here, now.
I think I'm just stunned because you said I had a good idea. Anyway, yeah, there'd be 100 million for each of them. I'd be happy with my billion.
All right, good.
I don't think the casino would be willing to wager that bet. But.
I guess what you could do is make a fire bet at a crapless table where you say, like, 5 numbers, any 5 numbers, or more is the grand prize, and then maybe there's some payouts for like 3 and 4 as well. You wouldn't actually have all 10 numbers actually being a result. It's kind of like, when you're playing Keno, like a 20 ticket. Yeah, they show you the payout for getting all 20 numbers, but that will never happen, ever.
Right. No.
Right. But they still show the payout, right? It'd be like that.
Exactly.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. We want to thank some people for some recurring donations, from Brian Dancer and from the International Brotherhood of Gobbling Donkeys. Thank you so much for those recurring donations. Hey, at the top of our webpage, you'll find a link to our store where you can buy You Can Bet on That merchandise, or you can just go directly to bettermerch.com. That's better, BETTOR, merch.com. We have merged with The Better Life on our merchandise store, so check that out. Also, you can find a list of all the gambling-related shows coming up on American television at youcanbetonthat.com/TV-listings. And we've got a list of gambling-related movies at youcanbetonthat.com/movies. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS.
9512-WAGERS.
Or you can email us at youcanbetonthat@gmail.com. We're also on Twitter at YouCanBetOnThat and on Facebook at facebook.com/YouCanBetOnThat. What do you got for us, Dr. Mike?
Well, Mark, this weekly podcast thing, it's kind of hard. I can't think of as much.
Oh, it's hard for you? Yeah,
that happened in this week.
I'm glad you're mentioning that.
I know I just have to sit here, but still, for me, that is hard. You got to admit that.
Yeah, I agree.
But I do want to say that I am tickled to death that we're having baseball playoffs, college football, professional football, hockey is back.
Coming up, yeah.
I mean, they're preseason.
Preseason's already there, but yeah.
They're already playing games.
Yep.
What a great time of the year for sports. Means I don't get a lot of other stuff done in my life.
No problem.
But sports. And we're having great weather here.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about Matt. The school won the homecoming game against actually a better team.
Oh, very good.
I expected them to lose, but they pulled it out and won.
Nice.
Things are going great, and I hope everyone else is doing just as well, if not better. And the last thing I'd like to say is I can't wait for December.
What do you like most about December? Is it that you are looking forward to going to Vegas again? Are you just looking forward to the holidays, time off? What is it?
Think about that month for me. I'm going to get some time off. I'm going to go to Vegas.
Yeah.
It's going to be Christmas, and I kind of include New Year in that because it's right there. There's probably going to be some snow on the ground here. All the leaves will have fallen off all the trees so I can see all of the hillside.
Oh, I didn't ever think of that. Okay, interesting.
Yeah. During the summer, the trees, they're thick as thieves and all you can see is green. But when wintertime comes, you can just see all the hillside.
Okay, nice.
And the best thing about the winter for me personally is when the frost is in the trees early in the morning, it glimmers. It kind of shines. That is just amazing to me. I just love the way that looks.
It's beautiful.
It really is like a gift. I mean, that we have something like that. It's just so beautiful to see. So when we look up on the hill behind us and we see all the trees glistening in the morning, it just makes you want to go and sit in the casino all day.
We finally got there. Good for you, Dr. Mike. All right, only a couple months to go.
Yep, it's coming up.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll talk again in 2 weeks.
Good night.
This whole town's going to because the Chargers and the Clippers betrayed us.
Really? Now?
Seriously, broke our heart for what? To be second fiddle to the Rams and the Lakers?